Hey, I'm Oscar with R3 Auto Detailing here in Houston, Texas, and welcome to Shop Talk. We were actually mobile for 7 years, meaning for 7 years we were going out to the customer's location, whether it was at their home, apartment, or office location. And after a while, we kind of realized if we had a more specific location, we can bring more kind of intensive services to the shop. So the two primary services that we use the shop for is our paint correction services and then our smoke odor removal services. So the reason why we really got the shop is just so we can have vehicles here that require a more intensive service. Okay, so let me take you through our primary detail shop right here. This is where we do most of our detailing. We have a second unit that is 3,000 square feet, but all the primary detail work takes place in this unit. So as we kind of grew and bought things, we kind of just started throwing things around, move things around as time went by, and this is our current iteration. Not perfect, things are gonna change, but this is where we are with things. Here is where we have most of our machines. We have 2 extractors for all interior cleaning. Here is our 5-gallon jugs of our primary chemicals. So instead of having to dilute the product every single time, we're just gonna dilute it in a big 5-gallon jug, and then from here we'll refill our chemicals just because that's a lot more efficient. So these two here are all-purpose cleaners. So you dilute it based on the strength that you need the cleaner. So here we have 10-to-1, which would primarily be for leather seats, plastics. If you need something more aggressive, which is usually for the exterior, it's gonna be for your wheels, your engine. We're gonna use an APC diluted 4-to-1, which is a more aggressive cleaner. Here is just our plastic dressing. So for engine bays, for tires, for fenders, for kind of maintenance plastic trim on the exterior, we're using our dressing. This chemical here is used for a variety of things. We use it as a quick detailer, as our clay lube, as our rinseless wash. We have 2 bottles of everything here because these are our most used products. When we're out in the field, detailing vehicles, it's much easier to clean the interior when you have the sun out. It's like the best light source. Yeah, can you imagine? But here in the shop, so we need these light bars. That way we can place them inside the interior. So one thing you see is we have another vacuum right here. We have 2 sets of basically everything. That way, if one person is working on the right side, they have all their tools and products that they need to get that side of the vehicle done. And then the other side of the vehicle has all it needs. That way that person can get that side of the vehicle done. Everyone can work independently to get the car done. Another vacuum, but because we actually don't have a drain here in this unit, we actually have to vacuum up the water once we're done washing the vehicle. So it's a bit tedious, annoying really, but it's something that we do on a daily basis. So that's why we have a bigger vacuum there. Now here is our detail cart, and going back to what I was saying, we have 2 of everything. So at least everything that we primarily use. So we basically have endless amounts of brushes, endless amounts of pads. That way, however many people are working here, they can just grab it and go. It's never like, hey, do you have an extra? It's all here. That way we can keep on working without slowing down. With this part, it's much faster to use a pump sprayer than it is to use a spray bottle. So if we can use a pump sprayer over a spray bottle, we're gonna do that just because it's faster. This has been an accumulation of things over the last 5 years. So you get to this point, don't think okay, I need to go spend money on all these things because Oscar's talking about it. No, now we have 2 air hose reels. Each one is 50 feet, which is connected to our 15-gallon air compressor tank. But again, going back to there's 2, that way everyone can always use it. And using a reel is much more efficient and safer and more convenient than having to coil up a hose every single time. So we are very big advocates of using anything on reels. And then we have our multi-purpose towels here, our wash towels right here, and then our premium towels right here. So we separate them when they're dirty and we separate them when we wash them. That way we don't cross-contaminate anything. Now in the other unit, we actually have a water spigot, so we don't need to have this ensemble here. But here, we don't have a water spigot, so we literally fill up this tank with water. We have it connected to a pump, and that's how we actually get water into this unit. But following that same thing, we have another reel here. It is a pressure washer reel, 50-foot hose. Disconnect this right here, and you can just pull it out and then get to work. It's far more efficient, effective. Here's our little pressure washer setup. Now this is not a big pressure washer by any means. It's just 1700 PSI. For our line of work, that's more than enough. In our mobile van, we have a much more powerful, feature-rich pressure washer. And this is where we have all our polishers. So this is gonna be for primarily polishing paint on the vehicle when you're doing paint correction, polishing. In total, I think we have around 12 polishers. And they're ranging between a 1-inch polisher, a 3-inch polisher, a 5-inch polisher. Some are rotary, some are 8mm throws, some are 15mm throws. The reason why we have some cordless is because sometimes it is just more convenient and efficient. So the downside with having battery powered machines is you need to have power in the batteries. So one thing that we do is this is just made for charging all the batteries. And a rule of thumb is like if the battery is not fully charged, it should be charged. And that's important because here at the shop, if we grab the wrong battery, okay, no big deal, go grab the other one. But if we go out to the field in our van and we're 15, 30, 40, 50 minutes away and we grab a wrong battery, that's not gonna be good for anyone. We're pretty short over here, so we have these workbenches to get on top of trucks, SUVs, especially if they're lifted, like here in Texas. So then we just have a bunch of other small tools or things that we need. So a steamer, pressure washer, accessories. Probably the last stretch that we have is right here. It's gonna be our wheel and tire setup. Again, going back, there's 2 sets of everything. So the thought is if someone, you know, if we're doing whatever vehicle here, one person takes it to the driver's side, one person takes it to the passenger side, and then they can just work. They have all the same brushes, all the same things, pump sprays are the same chemical. That way there's no question of like, hey, I can't, no, you can't, yes, you can, because everyone has the same things. These floor mats are actually very important for us. It's actually a lot more convenient to stick them onto the floor mat and vacuum extract here versus like bending over and doing it on the floor. You actually get a lot of benefits from it, so I highly recommend you get some floor mat holders if you can. This wraps up this shop. Let me take you over to the next one, next door. This unit is 3,000 square feet. So it's set up as to able to detail vehicles, but our actual main primary reason for this unit is actually for content creation. So here is our office. So this is where most of the work that gets done for me. So this is for the video editor. He edits all the content here. It's very expensive to have team members, and to not only to have team members, but to give them everything that they need, you got to spend money on things. If you want to get a shop, first and foremost, you have to have the customers and the revenue, which is why we were mobile for 7 years. That way we could build up our customer base, build up the revenue. That way when it came time to getting a shop, we would be able to afford it. Second is you have to do your due diligence. You have to ask a ton of questions. You have to really understand what you need out of that shop. There's a few key things that we missed here, like having a water spigot, having a drain. You know, ask other people that have shops in your industry and see, hey, like, what do you guys need? What do you guys use? You really just want to do your due diligence. I cannot stress that enough, and see if that's a right fit for you. That's gonna wrap up this tour. Thanks for stopping by. Check out some of the episodes here on this channel, and we'll see you next time.